What's up? I need a higher chair. Jeez. All right, so this is an unplanned live stream. And if you miss this and you follow this channel, you are welcome to just catch it on the replay. You guys know who follow this channel that, I typically just do live streams when I see something that is of interest to me. And obviously, the murder of Charlie is a hot topic right now. Different people from different camps responding to or reacting to the death of Charlie Kirk. You have different individuals online, different bloggers who are giving their spin, their take. Some people are giving their personal accounts with him and kind of trying to, paint him as, this human with the mission, a Martin Luther King type mission for the white American mindset of America. That is, he was their Martin Luther King, right? When you think about a guy like Kirk, he is what's going on, Sam. When you think about, and if you come in with that weird stuff, Sam, we can't do that. But you said Sam's gloves. You like gloves? Do you make them? But anyways, don't come to my live stream with anything weird though. Stick to the topic, stick to the topic. All right. But anyways, you said your channel is about that. Well, we don't do advertising for your channel, Sam. So we're gonna go have to block you from my channel because you don't have any YouTube etiquette. And if you ain't got YouTube etiquette, then you can't be on my channel. I don't go onto anybody else's channel advertising my shit. I stick to my business. I mind my business, and I don't just do stuff like that. So, Sam, you got to go. You're not allowed. You said, okay, YouTube, what you say? This message has been held for review. You got to go. Oh, hang on. Let me mute this. See, this is why I have to police my live stream. All right, Sam, you gotta go because you're spamming my live stream and I don't tolerate that. So let's go ahead and hide this user from the channel and we're gonna move on. It always be the weirdos, just be chiming in with that weird shit. It's like, get off my line with that weird ass behavior. I mean, I cannot, it's amazing how many freaking weirdos are in America, right? America, we got to do a better job with the people in society. It's like, social media, if it has shown us anything, is giving every damn body in society a voice. And, I'm all for freedom of speech and expression, but I'm also a person that believes in time, place, and manner. I believe that there's a time, a place, and a manner to say things. And I feel like people in America, and it hasn't always been this way. I mean, like me growing up, I have always known that people have freedom of speech, right? I've always known that we have freedom of speech in this nation, right? But even with that freedom of speech, right? And I guess this is social etiquette, right? The civilized Americans that I was around, right, growing up, we always knew that freedom of speech has its own it comes with self policing, right? Like people who understand that freedom of speech comes with self policing, they're not just going around saying shit and doing shit, right? There's a purpose, there's an intent, there's an underlying reason why they do something, right? And that kind of touches on a number of points that I may touch on in this live stream. I'm freestyling it right now, but you know how it be. But, anyways, you guys, I'm looking at these continuous reactions of Charlie Kirk's murder, and I happened to catch Volt Entertainment. What's the guy named? Patrick Bet David, dude. And they're going over this clip from TMZ, right? Now, TMZ needs to come to the front of our congregation over here in my channel, right? Because, there's a thing called accountability, and we got to kind of dive into what does being accountable mean, right? Sometimes being accountable mean that, you own what you did, acknowledge what you did, and own it for what it was, right? But when you acknowledge what you did and then try to fluff over it with some dumbass reasons or some coincidences or where you're not being accountable. So I'm looking at this soundbite. I'm looking at this. Actually, it's a video that Vault Entertainment is playing, and it's of TMZ covering the shooting at that point of Charlie Kirk. Right now, at that point, they didn't know that the man had passed away. Right. And then, and let me see if I can find that clip, because I mean, it's just, to me, TMZ, they are everything that they say that they're not. I mean, if you want to see somebody just double talking demon, lying they ass because they just got caught. See, some people say sorry because they got caught, right? Some people aren't really sorry. They're just sorry that you saw what they did. All right. And in this case, I am not buying TMZ's apology and their little look over here. We were talking about something else. It wasn't even about that. Bullshit, right? These people are the evil people. Everybody should be fired, according to what Harvey Levin was saying about their staff, right? If we are to believe Harvey Levin, then, everybody at TV, right? Because those people, you cannot tell me that those people were not celebrating the fact that Charlie Kirk had been pronounced dead. And that is just vile. I mean, when you want to talk about just vile, it's vile for the individual bloggers on the internet to be doing that. But a major information news network, right? They are live streaming, right? And to reveal how vile the people, some of the people, right, are that work there, how vile they really are to just they were anticipating. It's almost like it's like election news, right? It sounded like election news, where is it going to be my candidate? Is it going to be the other one? It sounded like an election headquarters, right? And they just made a call in those people's favor, and TMZ crowd, they're elated, so they're celebrating. That's what it sounds like. So let me find that for a second. I think it was on, what is it, Vaultainment? What is Petra Bet David's Valuetainment? Yeah. Here it is. Valuetainment. It was a new one that they just came out with. Here it is. Celebrating. Here it is. This is the one I saw earlier today. I was like, wow. And then Harvey Levin couldn't even clean it up. And this is just fair usage, you guys. So Valuetainment, don't be on that weird shit. I'm just making a point here. Don't strike my channel.
Everybody around the world finds out when the phone alert, Charlie Kirk is dead, right? Your phone is blown up. No matter where you are, your phone is blown up with text messages saying Charlie Kirk is dead. This is Harvey, who runs TMZ. It's a place known, I've been inside that place. It's a place that's known for having cameras everywhere.
I want to skip through.
And Utah time, which is 2 o'clock Pacific.
Okay, so
the one from Instagram, play that one, because I want people to see 10 seconds prior to that to see how it goes. Watch this.
Guess is we're going to see an image of this guy.
There's quiet. Nobody, you can't hear nobody in the background making noise, and I apologize. Y'all know this is a low production live stream, but Do I gotta hook up the Bluetooth audio so y'all can hear it? Oh, all right. Hang on. Let me do it. Let me see if it even got some juice to it. All right. For you guys. Oh, look at you. You do got some juice. All right. Here we go. So we're going to notice the silence at TMZ as they are waiting. I'm telling you, it's like anticipating an election. Somebody called an election at TMZ, right? They're pins and needles.
Just live stream it.
Yep. Possibly in the next 20 minutes. The news conference is scheduled for 3 o'clock in Utah time, which is 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Janet, go.
The announcement is made.
Go.
Do you realize how embarrassing this is? His partner's going to the back to tell everybody to be quiet.
The Fox.
Yeah, somebody go back.
Okay, so these people are about that. Like, no, I'm not. So
Posted that Charlie Kirk is dead.
Yeah, you're right, Pat. He went to the back. He went to shut the hell up. Yeah.
Right. So they had to do damage control. You saw some of the producer people. They had to hurry up and take their asses in the back and to stop cheering. Right. We are live. We are Valuetainment. Thank you, Ghetto Planet. And what's going on? Show some love to my moderators. So they had to do some damage control. They had to go in the back and be like, hey, y'all, chill. Right? We're live.
So now watch. Now,
what did Trump say?
Okay, forget about this, Rob. Wow. Now go to, so the second. So then what do? They go on ChatGPT. Can you tell me exactly at this time that there was another crisis that took place in California for us to say that we were reacting to? They make the argument that they're reacting to, not you, Rob. I'm saying that's what they did. So they make the argument later on. Do you have the video of them saying what they were reacting to?
Yeah, him and the producer guy.
This is the most unaccountable shit that I have ever heard, because all somebody else have to do, just like they just did, today, is go and look at the video that they claimed that they were watching. And honestly, I'm sitting up there, my dumb ass, looking at that damn video that they was watching, just waiting for the exciting point. I'm like anticipating. I'm like, is a cop gonna cut them off and the good guys are gonna win, or what the hell is about to happen exciting in this car chase? And it never happened. I'm like, what the hell, man? They know. Whoever came up with that bag of garbage excuse at TMZ need to be fired. Like, these people are desperate. This is what happens when you make decisions out of desperations. When you even, sometimes when you're wrong, sometimes it's not good to correct yourself right away. You have to sit in your wrong, so that when you acknowledge you're wrong, that you do it in a way that don't make people think that you're just saying some bullshit to mask over what you did, so that you're not accountable for what you did. And this is the most unaccountable thing that I have seen. And it's telling of modern American media, right? I think whatever little integrity that there was there, I mean, it's been gone for decades, right? I feel like nobody should win an Edward R. Murrow Award. I studied journalism in college myself, and nobody should win an award in that man's name. He's probably turning over in his grave like so disrespectful. Like, what is modern American media now? It's just a shit show of lies, deceptions, and unaccountable people. And TMZ, their whole staff should be ashamed of themselves. Like, if you ever wanted to just see somebody's whole ass, this is like if seeing your whole ass, somebody's whole ass, was a video clip, it would be TMZ.
Yeah, and so this is when they're looking at it. Watch this, you folks.
were live streaming all day during this tragedy.
Right.
When something happened in our office, as we were reporting the assassination of Charlie Kirk, there were some people in the back room away from our news desk here who were watching a car chase, and they were laughing, they were clapping.
Harvey Levin looks so fucking stupid right now. He looked like he can't even look at the fucking camera. He can't even look at his viewers as he's spewing this bag of garbage to them. He can't even look at them.
And they were laughing,
and they were
laughing,
they
were clapping,
and they were
and
clapping.
you could hear it out here.
And you could hear it out here.
We want to make a couple of things clear. One is that I know these people, and they were not.
Now he's looking at the camera because now he has to convince you guys. Okay, he has to convince all the lemmings that watch TMZ that like they're not assholes. So he's just like, I gotta look at the camera for this, right? All that other shit, he was like, they were laughing, right when we were, right? Because I'm selling you a bunch of bullshit right now, and we don't want to be accountable for the assholes that work here. So, but the assholes who work here are totally nice people. I know them. I'm going to look right in the fucking camera when I say that because I need to convince you guys of that. It's my whole fucking operation, guys.
Yeah.
Laughing. Yeah. They were not reacting that way about Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Yeah.
They were not.
Okay.
They would not work here if they did. And that being said, we acknowledge that it was horrible timing.
So black guy chimes in. I don't watch TMZ, so I don't even know what the black guy's name is. But he's like, with that being said, because like black dude is like, look, Harvey, shut the fuck up. We can cut it off there. We ain't got to say anything else. Like sometimes less is more. All right. If you don't learn anything from my podcast, which I think there's lots to learn from a person like me, but less is more sometimes, right? Less is more. And black guy chiming in saying, with that said, is him telling Harvey, less is more. Less is more right now. Less is more. But no.
And for that, we are sorry. We apologize. We apologize.
We got
getting you
caught.
had to hear that.
And I get why, if you were watching the stream, you may have felt that that's what the laughter was about. We assure you, it was
When the
not
laughter was
about
cheering,
that,
dude.
but it was horrible timing.
Okay.
And
By the way, I
do you
get it
believe
too.
them? Do you believe them?
He said it's horrible timing. It was just horrible timing. So obviously, Valuetainment, they're like, well, we want to laugh too, y'all. We want to laugh at what TMZ was laughing at during the same damn time that it was announced that Charlie Kirk had passed on from being shot. And they did look up that video, and thank you.
They're saying a car chase.
Okay.
This is the car chase.
All right, now let's look. I'm looking at the car chase, but you guys, shout out to Valuetainment. Go on and wherever you can reference the car chase. Valuetainment was nice enough to pull up the car chase that TMZ's staff were laughing and celebrating and chuckling their little asses off. They pulled it up for us. So go to Valuetainment if you want to see it. So let's look at this bit.
And you tell me if you believe them. Go ahead,
I'm
Bob.
telling y'all, my dumb ass was sitting up there waiting for the punchline. I'm waiting for something exciting. I'm waiting for a car to go up in the air or hit a ramp or do some old Bruce Willis shit from like one of them like movies that he used to do where he, was in like a lot of dying scenarios, but the motherfucker never died. Like I was waiting for that shit, right? And I'm just sitting up there.
Let's find it.
Tell me if
like
this is the
juiced
kind of
up
car
waiting
chase
for the
that you would
celebration.
Celebrate.
And I'm
and
just
scream.
like,
Tell
what
me if
the
it's that
hell?
euphoric.
Yes.
Do you have?
Let me, while this commercial is going, let me know if you guys saw the video of the car chase. right? This car chase video is probably going to be very popular, and it wasn't even shit to be popular about, right? So this is the car chase that
you can see it started in Temple City, and we saw that.
And the dumbass thing about the car chase is it wasn't even a fast one. Okay, my ass sitting up there like, it got to get more exciting after this. It's like, no, it was one of the more less. Matter of fact, that damn car followed some traffic rules. He actually let some other cars go. I'm just sitting up there like, what the fuck is they laughing and cheering about here?
Go ahead,
25 miles an hour.
Look, he literally stopped for the truck, right? Stopped for the truck.
President Trump has
and he's
said
safely
Charlie
getting
Kirk has
himself
died.
across.
So that is the.
And then it's like nothing else to see. You can kind of see it. Cops still kind of safely behind. Like now you see a whole bunch of buildings.
We've been talking about that throughout.
I'm like sitting up here like, where the hell is the excitement? This is what they were cheering at. This is what they were celebrating. This is what Harvey Levin wants people to believe that his staff was cheering about during the announcement of Charlie Kirk's death. You can't make this dumbass shit up. You cannot make this dumbass shit up. Okay? You cannot make this dumbass shit up. Okay? But what's going on, chat? Let me know what you guys think. Okay? Do you guys think that, that was an exciting car chase? They were rooting for the cops to win, right? And they were like, yes, woo, yes, woo. And you're looking at that car chase and you're like, well, the cop didn't even do shit. Like, I don't that was like some crazy ass shit. So we're going to have to give, with this Tash Miracle, what does she do? She give 50,000 lashings. TMZ, you guys need to go over to Ashley's channel and get y'all 500 million lashings. I think they should get 500 million lashings for that dumbass shit. 500 million lashings for TMZ for not only poor, unscrupulous reporting, but having a poor, unscrupulous staff who celebrates the death of political opponents. So that's what we think about you, TMZ, and your little celebration. This is what we feel, right? We feel like you celebrate the death of your political opponents, right? They covered this man's death only to celebrate it, it appears, to many reasonable people. Like, you got to be very, very evil, spiteful, disgusting, vindictive in your heart to just fix yourself to cover that man's, incident. And then you are covering if he's going to make it like it's a damn election result. You want to talk about real evil in people's hearts and souls. You didn't even have to agree with Charlie Kirk. You could be an atheist. You could be whatever political position you want. You did not have to agree with him. You didn't have to agree with him. I did not agree with the context of some of his positions because of where I felt like they were rooted. But at the same time, I am not going to celebrate that man's death because just like he had his faith in his God, I have my faith in my God. I have my accountability to my God for what I do, what I say. You know what I mean? You got to understand, words do matter. Words do absolutely matter. How we respond to things absolutely matter. And it's when things like this happen, you actually get to see the real person around you revealed in so many different ways. You get to see real people revealed in so many different ways, right? So, like, again, TMZ, they clearly don't have any scruples, right? You cannot clean that shit up. And I agree with Valuetainment. There is nothing exciting about this damn car chase. got my dumb ass juiced up to see it. Only for it to be a bag of nothing. I'm like, I'm waiting. Do you know how pissed off I was when he offered up that excuse on the table for why they were laughing and celebrating during the time? Coincidentally, when Charlie Kirk died, do you know how juiced up I was to see that damn car chase just because I'm sitting up there like, well, I want to see what the hell they were celebrating. They act like that car chase must have been some NASCAR shit. And now they sitting up there placing bets on who gonna fucking win in this damn car chase. I'm thinking it's some shit like that. All right. I'm not thinking that when I look at this shit, it's gonna be just some boring ass shit through the block. I'm not real, like, I literally did not expect that. And they pissed me off another time. Like, see, now this is the second time you pissing me off, right? Because now you're not being accountable. You're not being accountable for what the hell that you guys did, right? You're not freaking being accountable for that, right? Now you trying to play as stupid. Now you playing your whole fucking audience stupid. Guys, I knew this was like coincidental, right? We weren't laughing at Charlie Kirk dying, right? We weren't, right? It was just that during the same time that the announcement, the confirmation that he died came on, our staff was deeply engaged in this police chase, and they were celebrating, and it was just bad timing, right? And that was their excuse, and I'm sure Harvey Levin was like, I hope that works. Do you think it's gonna work? You think that's like the black guy's like, I mean, shit, it could be, right? Let's go with that. All right, and face, guys, not a lot of eye contact is going to happen here, even though I am a broadcaster and my job is to look directly into the camera so I can appear truthful. I can't do that shit right now. You know why? Because I'm fucking gaslighting you. I'm gaslighting you. Harvey Levin, dude, look at his body language. I should be an FBI expert because I read people so well. Like, I really do read people very, very well. I only need 2 minutes with a whole person, letting them talk, go to town, articulate, and I can read that person's character very, very well. This was some unaccountable bullshit.
Reacting that way about Charlie Kirk's assassination.
Yeah.
They were not.
Okay.
They would not work here.
All right.
If they did.
They would not work here if they did. They would not work here if they did. How many people getting fired from TMZ? I wonder how many people are going to get fired from TMZ. They not going to fire those people because that is the sentiments of the culture in that environment. TMZ, it appears by coincidence that they were very happy to see Charlie Kirk perish in the manner that he did. And they covered that man's death like an election result. And when they found out the result, they were happy. It appeared to me, right? And to a lot of reasonable people, it appeared that way as well. A lot of people got the devil in them. A lot of people got the devil in them. A lot of people got the devil in them. And that's just what it is. A lot of people got the devil in them. Anyways, it's because I don't think homosexuality has anything to do with just being able to be scrupulous about what you say and making sure that your staff is on code, being scrupulous no matter what story they're covering. Okay? No matter what side of the aisle, what political opponent person they're covering. I mean, imagine if you saw like, that gotta be embarrassing for them. That gotta be embarrassing for them. It has to be embarrassing for them. And again, this is a news cycle, so it'll die down for them. But conservatives, I do not believe is going to allow TMZ to live down this moment. This was a horrible moment for TMZ and the conservative camp, because y'all out here celebrating a man's life, like his death. That's insane. That is insane. I pray for everybody. I don't know. It's crazy to me, right? Because when Yeshua, or Roman Jesus, when he was dying, he was like, pray, forgive these people. They don't know what they're doing, right? And I always put myself in a position like that if I were delivered to my enemies, would I even have the inclination to want to pray for them? And again, this is what makes, Messiah a much more powerful human being than any person who believes in him can even fathom, right? And this is, being like Messiah, it's a mastery. You got to work hard at that. You got to be conscious of it, right? And you got to be devoid of these bandwagons of ignorances, these being so engrossed with political positions that, you can incline yourself to not be objective, that these are just people on another side. These are just people on another side. We are literally, whether you're Democrat or Republican, personally, I think you're a sad person if you have faith in these affairs of men. I feel bad for you. You said every strong woman, get your chauvinistic ass off my channel. Hold on. We gotta get Damian Toma off my channel. I don't know what you're doing, but you gotta go. You got to go. And look at that. All that dumbass laughing stopped as well. Gotta get the devil away. We rebuke you, Satan, in the name of Yahushua our King. Amen. But anyways, lots of conspiracies are floating around now with Charlie Kirk's passing on, right? And, the conservative, I think they really wanted it to be, a person from the liberal camp. Their argument is that there's some reports or some stories coming out that the shooter's lover may have been a transgender individual. So now they're trying to put this on transgenderisms. Shout out to the black people. They can't put it on niggas. Yay! We're devoid of their wrath this time, right? I can't put that shit on us, right? It was one of your own people. And I was listening to a podcast today, and this dude was saying that he's tired of white individuals trying to separate themselves when it's convenient, right? They try to go into all these little subgroups, like these were the trans white people. These were the, this white, anything but being white people. That was a straight up homegrown white male that killed a straight up homegrown white male. And it is sad and very ironic for Charlie Kirk that he spent much of his time talking about the threat of the black man. How he spent much of his time talking about the woes and foes and the violence of black people, only for him to be taken out by Obi. And I'm not talking about Obi Trice. Or is it Opie? My bad, Obi Trice. He got taken out by Opie, not Obi. But anyways, y'all, let me know what you guys think. Again, these reactions from the Democratic side, I can understand why individuals on the conservative side may believe that this is Democratic leftist linked. But the boy's grandmother, the shooter's grandmother, she was like, oh no. I mean, she actually, I kind of feel like the shooter's grandmother was trying to make it perfectly clear that this, ooh, wait, I need my laptop. She was trying to make it perfectly clear that, oh no, honey, our whole family are Republicans, we don't got no Democrats in our family. Everybody in her family, she said, was a diehard Trump supporter. So that leftist narrative.
We have some news right now. According to the Daily Beast, Tyler Robinson, the 22-year-old man arrested in connection with the shooting of Charlie Kirk, comes from a family that is proudly MAGA, according to his own grandmother. Debbie Robinson, who's his grandmother, spoke with the Daily Mail today, and this was cited by the Daily Beast, where she told the publication that her son, Robinson's dad, was a Republican for Trump. She went on to say, quote, most of my family members are Republican. I don't know any single one who's a Democrat. She went on to say that she's very confused, that Tyler was a shy person, that he's never spoken about politics at all. And now obviously he can have differing views from his family, and we're still going to get more information about that over the coming hours, days, and weeks. But for several days, many on the right blame the left. And well, with each passing hour, it seems that not to be fully true. And that's why it's important to wait for the full facts to come out before espousing your opinions. Spread the...
I agree with that because obviously, when people are hurt, when they're angry, they're automatically, they want somebody to blame. They need to blame somebody, right? And so automatically, people on the right, they're like, this is an agenda of the left. And personally, I still think it's an agenda of the left. I still think that it's an agenda of the left because there's just certain things, like I said, about his death. Everything about his death seems like it was organized beyond this kid who did not like Charlie Kirk and the fact that he was coming to his school. I really feel like there was just more orchestration than that. Like, because it's like even down to the question about guns, it's like, what is the coincidence? Because, these people do these Q&As with Charlie Kirk. They talk about everything, right? They talk about, gender ideology, race, economy. They talk about everything. What is the coincidence that right when he's asked a question about gun violence, excuse me, my allergies are going crazy, but right when he's asked a question about gun violence, that he's popped. That was just like, to me, that's not a coincidence. Just like Harvey Levin's team laughing and celebrating around the time the announcement of his death wasn't a freaking coincidence, in my opinion. Okay? But I'm just saying, though, right? What are the odds that kid even knew that question would come up? You know what I mean? And then, people on the right are making an argument that this kid, he came from this MAGA family, but he went to the university and he got radicalized at the university. But then when you kind of look at more reports, they're saying, well, nah, this kid actually dropped out of university and he ended up in a trade school. So now it's really perplexing because now they're like, well, no, it was actually Israel. Charlie was really, really afraid of Israel. They offered him money. They offered, I guess they were, trying to throw money at him, maybe to propagandize his platform. Charlie apparently or allegedly refused the money from Israel, right? Which made him a mark or a target because apparently Some of these people feel like there is a control mechanism in this country, in this nation. There is a cabal of people who want to control the narratives, the minds of people. And people like Charlie Kirk is a threat to that. Because again, you can't have control over the masses when the masses are not buying the shit that you're giving them. You can't have control over the masses when you got people like Charlie Kirk. He was the white man's Martin Luther King. And again, they took King out the game. So don't get too prolific, whether you're black or white, because this cabal of people, again, they want control. They don't give a fuck about your color. They want us caring about the color. They want us caring about each other's color, okay? They want me hating white people. They want you hating black people. They want all of us feeding into all the stereotypes that they perpetuate to us. They want us busy doing that, okay? People don't care about us. They don't care. It don't matter if you black or white. Man, Mike Jackson wasn't ever playing, and I don't even think he was talking about some social. They will fuck you over no matter if you're black or white. Okay? You ain't them. You ain't them. We not them. Right? They want to control us. They want to control how we think. Right? And a lot of that is propping up, paying people who have our ear. And it seems as though whatever you can think about Charlie Kirk, let's get away from whatever racial, whatever you think about him, he didn't want to sell out. He did not want to sell out. And it appears to me he didn't want to sell his platform out to Israel, right? If this is the true conversation that was had, that he was offered and he refused. Sometimes when the devil come at you with a whole lot of money, it's not beneficial to take it. And maybe, like I said, Candace Owens alluded to him getting a lot of pressure in these last couple of years. And again, I personally believe that Charlie Kirk was a threat. He was a threat because, again, ideologically, he was persuasive enough to turn a lot of college students into registered voters. He was persuasive enough to take a lot of these untouched rural area people and turn them into registered voters. That type of person is a threat to the establishment. Anybody who can influence elections. And Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA, was an integral influence in this election. That man was a threat. He was a threat. He had way too much power, and they needed to take him out the game. That baby got taken out of the game because he had too much power. And I think, the sad reality for the white man is they don't even want your ass to get too powerful. They don't want your ass to get too powerful. So don't get too, proud with your supremacy and none of that shit, because Charlie Kirk just proved they'll take you out the game. I don't think this kid, like every single radicalized person, right, they're leverageable assets. And usually they are ops to other things, right? I don't think this kid was just your regular cookie cutter person that woke up and said, I'm going to kill Charlie Kirk. He was probably organizing with some people. Yeah. There are a lot of Republicans who are pro-Israel, right? And I think that, when you have people who are challenging some of those Republican models and traditional mindsets about certain things too, that becomes problematic, right? And like I said, from a spiritual Bible prophecy standpoint, I've said it before and I will say it again. The United States and Israel, they are the second beast. They are going to conquer together. They're going to fall together. Those nations are the second beast. And I did another video explaining why they are the second beast. Because again, if you know your scripture, how is the second beast different than the first beast, right? The first beast had 10 horns, right? And on those horns, there were 10 crowns, meaning that those horns, which represents nations, they were monarchical. They were all of the nations that rose after the bastard Roman Empire fell. So you're talking Germany, France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, those Lombards, right? Those folks, right? All of those nations, they were monarchical, right? They encompass that first beast because they were monarchical nations. But the second beast that both John and Daniel saw, they had no crowns. It was 2 horns. It was only 2 nations. And it said one horn was bigger than the other. And it said, and Daniel tells us that the big horn grew up later. America is the only nations with global dominance in mankind's history that grew up later from those old world orders. This is why you keep hearing the mindset of New World Order. The New World Order is America and Israel. They are the dominant powers. The old world orders, they were those European nations. But again, America rose. We took the sterling out, right? And we became the powerhouse, right? Right after the war, right? So we were coveting on our little Western allies for a while. We were going to get that top spot. And that's where the old world order died. When America took the sterling out the game. I know my history. I know my biblical history, and I know my secular history, and I know how these nations have been operating. Israel, it didn't have to grow up later. All it needed was the nations, as prophesied, to take it out of desolation. And that's what happened, right? Now you got a bunch of Gentiles over there talking about Gentile Jews, talking about they're the Hebrews of the Bible. There is no book of Jews. There is a book of Hebrews because the people in the Bible were Hebrews, not Jews. But anyways, you guys, that's a whole other conversation. But let me know what you guys think about this. This guy's grandmother is saying that his family comes from a MAGA family. And somehow this baby got radicalized or something, right? Because he completely went the other way from whatever his parents were teaching him, and they seemed like normal people. So again, I think that this situation hurts the conservative, or not hurt it, but when you talk about you need God, faith, and family, right? You need a mother and father. Black guys, Black boys, they're violent because they don't have fathers in the household, right? Well, this white boy had a father and a mother in the household, and he still got radicalized and whacked off one of y'all people. Crazy, 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 y'all. Crazy. And I apologize. I'm getting over something. I don't want to attribute my cold to COVID. I feel like COVID might have knocked out the common cold because everybody's like, I got COVID. No, it's just that when the kids start school, it's like clockwork. They're healthy all summer. And then the second week of school, and then next you know, you're nursing everybody. And then you're feeling like crap. So that's the life of a mom. But anyways, you guys, let me get to my chats real quick. Thanks so much to you guys who tuned in, anyone who's new to the channel. This is how we do it over here. We're raw, we're real, unapologetic, right? We don't do that disrespectful shit. I will be scrubbing my chat. Ghetto Planet, holler, shout out to you for policing if you're still here. I will be scrubbing my chat for all the ignorant devils and zealots who want to flex their ignorant emotions over on my channel because they have a hard time listening to my disposition on things. It's really sad sometimes, y'all. It's real sad when I look at some of these folks, right? Agree to disagree, right? That there is a grace in that. Agree to disagree, because like nobody is finitely right about anything. We're all running on things that we may know, personal experiences, ignorance, some people, blissful, willful ignorance, lots of people, right? But at the end of the day, right, I respect people who at least have an opinion, right? Whether I agree with them or not, if you have been able to formulate a foundation for your belief systems and your opinions, and you can present patterns of understanding and experience, I respect the fact that you have them, right? But if you go on some bandwagon of ignorance because it makes you feel good, because really you're a loser in society, you're a low value person, I don't care how much money you have. There are a lot of people running around with very low value. And if you follow this channel, we talk about the 5 social values, right? And if you're lacking even just one of those, right, you are a miserable person in society, and now you're making that other people's problems. You got to find your value. There's a reason why ugly men find beautiful women, because there's something awesome about them. They have a value that attracted her to them, right? Like engineers, right? Carpenters. Why are they so hot to a lot of women? Because they can create something. They're passionate. They create things that are valuable to society. So therefore they're valuable. So therefore they're hot. Even your construction workers, right? You got to have value, right? And anybody running around demeaning other people, harming other people because of their values, right? How they think and even how they look, right? You have low value. And now you're and it's just you're putting your shit on other people. And they don't have to take that shit. They won't take that shit in America. They won't. They won't. And I think that some of these keyboard warriors, just be happy you're behind the keyboard. Because if you stepped out in reality, doing all that weird shit, coming up to people just saying shit or whatever, you will get popped. Or at the bare minimum, your ass whooped. And people are so activated on weird shit now that they might even take your damn life. So why even risk it being dumb? Mind your own damn business. Find your value and stop focusing on other people. Like, people are just weird as hell to me. But anyways, all praises to the God in heaven, Yahuwah and Yahusha, our King. I pray for God's kingdom, okay? I don't have a political dog in anybody's fight, because I'm praying for my Lord to say it's enough and bring judgment upon the nations. And that's what Christians ain't talking about, because they're afraid of that. So it's easy for them to cleave on to man-made gods like a Trump or a Kirk or whoever the deity is on the Democratic side, right? But then you want to talk about God, God, God. What God are some of you people worshiping? Because half of y'all don't go hard for God's kingdom and preaching the good news of God's kingdom like y'all do about these political perspectives and bandwagons of ignorances. You say that you love Jesus, what he meant, but some of you guys aren't even like him. You don't even know what walking with him means. You don't encompass the fruitages of the Spirit, as Galatians 5:22 and 23 implores real believers, right? Love, joy, kindness, peace, goodness, mildness, self-control. Against such things there is no law. So some of you guys don't have the fruitages of the Spirit. So you're not really operating with God's laws. And that's why you can be on the bandwagons of ignorance and all kinds of dumbass shit, because you don't have the fruitages of God's Spirit. And I'm talking to these so-called Christians. Some of you guys are so addicted to social and political positions that you don't really realize that you got a satanic spirit cleaving on to your faith. A lot of y'all got Satanism cleaved on to your faith because you have faith in men. You're eating at the table of God and you're eating at the table of the devil. And then you want to make yourself look more self-righteous than somebody. Some of you guys are worse than a person without faith. You're worse than people without faith. A lot of you so-called Christian, you got evil, nasty little tendency, nasty little spirits in your heart. You are not followers of my Messiah. You're not. You got too much hate in your heart, and I don't care what color you are. Too much hate in your heart, you're not a follower of Messiah. But anyways, you guys, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful rest of your evening. I always like to close my live stream sometimes with love your neighbor as yourself. If you would not disrespect or abuse yourself, do not disrespect or abuse your neighbor. It's so simple. This shit is so simple. I don't understand why human beings make shit so hard. This superimposing, that's not what God's people do. Even God gives people choices to serve him, to worship him, to believe in him. People have that choice. And if you follow my Messiah, he even puts that on the table. You have a choice, right? People don't got to agree with anything you do, anything you say, or anything, but we ain't got to do all that, but we do have to respect each other. We do have to respect each other, and even if that respect means that I ain't saying shit to you, I respect you enough not to say shit to you. I respect you enough to keep on about my own damn business and let you go on about your business. If your business is not impacting me and what I'm doing, I'm minding my own damn business. It is an art. And if people just did more of it, we would have less problems. If people respect, just go back to that fundamental saying, agree to disagree. We're going to agree to disagree. When you agree to disagree, people walk away with their lives. Because at the end of the day, none of these little spats or anything, it's not that deep for anybody to be losing their lives. It's not that deep for people to be children and mothers to be, without their loved ones. None of that shit is that deep. This goes from Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, to Charlie Kirk. It's not that deep. And I don't really even think it's that deep for a lot of Americans at our core. But we have a government that is full of Satanists. And they're going to always keep this shit that deep. So love your neighbor as yourself. If you would not disrespect or abuse yourself, do not disrespect or abuse your neighbors. Bye.